Well, Stuart, first of all, I just wonder, listening to you speak to Dave after the game last week and the frustration, the annoyance at the nature of the goals you conceded. I just wonder how you're feeling about things this week, because that's what, 8 defeats in 12 now. It's 5 defeats in a row at home. How are you feeling about the way things are going and the nature of goals that Notts are still letting in?
Yeah, look, it's very frustrating because a lot of the goals that we've conceded, especially in recent games, they're individual errors. So it's hard to isolate individual errors when they happen like that. So we've been on the training ground again this week and we're working on it and we're trying to improve the players, and that's what we can do. And we've got to keep working hard as a team to try and cut these individual errors out of the games, because they are killing us. If you think the lads defended excellently for 87 minutes, and then it's a big frustration that we concede the type of goal that we concede.
Aside of that, do you feel like you're doing enough in games?
Yes, look, would I say that we're opening teams up at will? No. Do I feel that we have the balance of the games that we've been playing in? Yes. I think we have control. If you look at Saturday's game again in the first half, I think we're the team within control of that. I don't think they have any efforts on our goal other than the moment that they have and then when they score. And then in the second half, I feel we could create the bigger moments. Especially after we equalised. When we equalised, I think we have a couple of good moments. Didsey across the near post, and then we have one on the back post as well. And then Sammy clips one and it hits the top of the crossbar, which can drop in at any stage with a little bit of luck going your way. So I feel that we're controlling games well enough. I don't feel that we're getting the luck within the big moments. And look, football games are won in both boxes.
From a personal point of view, what's that doing for you? Because you arrive at Notts County, you've got these ambitions, of course, and then here we are a couple of months down the line, and a late goal like that, and it's another defeat. What's that doing for you and your feelings in the role?
Yeah, look, like I said, it is frustrating, but we've got to keep working hard to try and turn that luck within our way, and keep working with the lads to try and correct and get those individual errors out of them. But it is frustrating when we are making similar errors within games, and it's costing us. It's not like teams are opening us up now. When we first come in, I thought there was a lot of teams counter-attacking on us. We were emergency defending our 6-yard box where we're sprinting back towards it. I actually think we're defending our box really well now. But there's still that individual errors that we're having, and it's costing us within games.
5 home defeats in a row, of course. Any manager inevitably is going to face questions after a run like that.
Yeah.
Have you had any conversations with those senior to you, chief execs, the owners, or anything, that they're happy with what they're seeing from you and that they're confident you'll turn this around?
Yeah, look, I think when we come to Notts, we believed in the model. It's hugely driven on stats. I think if you look at the stats from within the games that we're playing in, I think it shows that within the games that we're within them games, and it's very fine margins that have not gone our way. And it's been individual errors. I don't think if you look at performance levels, I don't think it's down to performance levels that have cost us within the games. I think when you solely isolate it and reflect back on the game, I think there's been a lot of individual errors that have cost us within games, and I think that's what's happened since we've been in charge.
Have they understood that? Of those, decision makers above you, do they look at that and say, "Yeah, we understand that it's personnel or it's errors"? Have they had conversations with you about where things are going at the moment?
I haven't had any conversations with the owners regarding that at the minute, no.
No, okay. Have you sought them out or anything? You haven't tried to, no?
No, look, we're here to do our job, and until they want a conversation like that, then we keep carrying on working, and we keep working hard to make sure that we can try and turn the performances into wins. And I think that's the biggest thing. Can we turn the performances into wins?
You've got those 2 wins under your belt. They're both away from home. In some senses, is it a bit easier to be away from home just at the moment?
No, I don't feel like that. I feel that the Bradford game the other night, if you look at the way that we defended, there was a moment within that game that they hit the post and it comes out. If that goes in, goals do change games. But if you look at that whole performance as a whole performance, we were excellent all the way through it. From minute one, we defended our box well, we attacked as a team and we defended as a team. And there was no errors within the game. And that was the difference within them games. If you look at the Newport game as well, there was no errors within that game. Everyone defended to a very high level, and the ref gave them a sloppy penalty within that game that when we watched the game back wasn't a penalty, so it's probably a potential to have another clean sheet as well. So when you look at those 2 performances, there was no errors within them games.
It's just errors. Are you thinking now about changing personnel in the summer? Are you just looking at it saying, well, if there's constant errors from players in that position, are they just not good enough to be at this level? Are you thinking now we're going to need to strengthen in that area in the summer?
I think we need to add to the group in the summer to make sure we combat the opposition. I think we need to add to the group definitely to make us stronger for League Two. If you look at it now, we've been in League Two. It's their first season within it. We know the strengths, we know the weaknesses of teams within this level now, and a lot of teams, they want to put it in your box from every angle, so we need to make sure that as a physicality we need to be better at, and they're the areas that we do need to strengthen in.
A couple of games over the Easter period. I know that Dave asked you after the game last week whether you felt that reaching the playoffs had gone yet, and I know it's probably still mathematically possible, but I just wonder how tough motivation is at this stage of the season when there isn't an awful lot to play for apart from league position, but not really in terms of promotion or relegation. How tough is that to kind of get the squad, to get the results that you want and the fans want, but realistically isn't going to make that much difference?
I think we've got a group of lads that are very professional since we've come in the door. They give everything every time they cross the white line on the training field, and they do the same on the pitch. They give everything, and I know they'll give everything to the end of the season to try and pick up as much points as we can for this football club. And Easter period always feels big. 2 games in 3 days, or in a few days. Will that impact on team selection? Are you going to try and mix it up a little bit so that you're not overusing players at the end of what for some players has been a long season? Yeah, I think that there'll come a time that we do need to rotate, and we have done in recent weeks through illness and injuries, and we're coming out of a busy period and then kind of coming into another busy period as well. So yeah, we're going to need everybody within the squad to step up to the plate and perform. Stuart, best of luck to you. Take care, thank you.
Hi there, Stuart.
Hi, Jordan.
I just wanted your thoughts on, in terms of your thoughts about the league before you had the job, comparison, if they've changed or if they've developed now since you've had the experience here.
No, before I come into the job into League Two, I think this has been the toughest League Two that it's probably been for 4 or 5 years. If you look at the top end of the division, the types of finances the teams are spending all the way from the top to the bottom, I think it's a very competitive league. I think when you actually get into it, you don't realise how physical it is. And I think that's us as a football club now. We know how physical League Two is. Every team, every opportunity, they want to get an entry into your box, and they're willing to throw it in the box from every angle, or set the set pieces up and put it in from every angle as well. So we know that now, and we know it's a very tough division, and you have to make sure that the concentration levels are spot on every game, and that's for 90 to 95 minutes. As long as the game goes on, we have to concentrate and make sure that you're on everything because the ball's coming in your box.
And obviously, in terms of form, you are seeing kind of one game where the win will happen, and then you'll have a spell of like unfortunate losses. Is that obviously that's something that comes with a new project or a new manager coming in? How would you go about steadying that ship, just in terms of results?
Look, you have to keep working hard on the training ground. If you look at the goals, the types of goals that we've conceded, they've been the same goals all season. Like I said, when we come in, we've stopped the transition of teams countering on us now. It's very hard to stop consistently with the physicality within this league at times.
And obviously you've brought in Jatta. Do you think is the idea to kind of bring in players that you don't have similar profiles to, so it can cause and kind of instigate questions for the other team of how to set out? Was that the idea?
Yeah, definitely. Look, when we brought Jatta in, we knew he was totally different to what we had within the squad, and he brings a balance and he brings us something totally different. And I think you've seen that. He's a real handful. He's physical. He wants to run in behind, and he's got an eye for goal.
And not long left of this season, but are you looking at now a little bit of offering Jatta and Macaulay kind of linking up, getting involved on goals, trying to create a few more chances? Is that something that you'll be looking at as we run out at the end of the season?
Look, we'll look at every game we go into and assess it and pick the best team that we can and make sure we've got the freshest squad out there.
And then I just want to get a few of your thoughts in terms of threats that you think they'll cause this Friday for you. Anything that you need to be looking out for?
Look, they've got Austin up front, who's a handful. He's played at the top level. He can get a goal out of nothing with any game of football, and he's someone that we got to make sure that we deal with and keep out of our box. And it's another team that want to cross a lot of balls into your box, and his movement's exceptional in and around that. They've got Khan in midfield who's got loads of energy. We've got to make sure we match that first and foremost, because that's where a lot of their attacks start from. But we just got to focus on ourselves and make sure that what we've been working on this week now we take into the game, and we can make sure that we perform to a high level.